Today is March 22nd. How can I forgive? Let's find out together as we study Luke chapter 23, verse 34. Today, as we look at the last 18 hours of Jesus' life, we come to the crucifixion. It's now the last 6 hours of his life before his death. What I thought we'd do is look at the 7 words of Jesus on the cross. 7 words of Jesus is the traditional title given to the 7 things that Jesus says while he's on the cross. They occur across all 4 Gospels. Some of them occur only in one Gospel. There's only one of the sayings that occurs in more than one. We'll see that, I think, on Thursday of this week. The first one occurs only in the book of Luke. Now, as we lead up to the crucifixion, in the book of Mark chapter 15, verse 25, it was 9 o'clock in the morning when they crucified him. Some of the translations will say it was the 3rd hour. Well, that's the 3rd hour of daylight, so 3 hours after 6 when the sun comes up. It was around 9 o'clock, so it's fairly early in the morning. And we come to Luke chapter 23, verse 32. 2 others, both criminals, were led out to be executed with him. When they came to a place called the Skull, they nailed him to the cross. And the criminals were also crucified, one on his right, one on his left. And Jesus said, first word, "Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they're doing." Jesus' first word was to say to those who were crucifying, "I forgive you," and then to look to heaven and say, "Father, forgive them." He said, they don't know what they're doing. Now, we need to understand what Jesus is saying. He's not saying they don't know how to crucify someone. These were experts in crucifixion. They probably specialized in death by torture. This was not the first person that they had crucified, and it wouldn't be the last, but it would certainly be the most unusual. What Jesus was saying was they don't understand the magnitude of what's going on. To them, they're just following orders. They've been told, crucify these 3 men. And so they've gone out and they are crucifying those 3 men. And Jesus is saying, they don't understand that my crucifixion is different. The nature of what's going on here is vastly different from anything else that has ever happened with them or that ever will happen with them. Father, forgive them. Now, the word that is used here in Greek, the word forgive, it's a word that means a couple of different things. They're related, but forgiveness is not even the primary meaning of the word. The primary meaning of the word is to leave, to abandon, to let go. And in that sense, when used in terms of an offense committed against someone, what it means is that you are releasing that offense. You are letting go of the emotions that you feel surrounding that offense. Jesus, in Luke chapter 17, says in verse 3, if another believer sins, rebuke that person, and if there's repentance, forgive. Even if that person wrongs you 7 times a day and each time turns again and asks forgiveness, you must forgive. The disciples' response to that teaching was the apostles said to the Lord, increase our faith. I think they were saying, whoa, forgive every time someone commits an offense, even if they do it repeatedly, 7 times a day, we're to forgive them. Strengthen me, Lord. Increase my faith. Forgiveness is hard. It's not easy. Our human tendency is to surround ourselves in the emotions that are wrapped up in the offense against us. Forgiveness simply says, I take those emotions and I release them. That's not easy. That is not easy at all. We don't release a person from the consequence of the sin that they committed against us. That consequence is still there. The consequence, if you have been abused, is a broken relationship, a lack of communication. And in consequence of the sin committed against you, it's typical, probably even necessary to break off all relations. That doesn't change. But instead of letting those emotions eat you up, you can release those emotions. You can go to God and say, Lord, increase my faith. Help me to release those emotions surrounding that sin. How can we forgive? Lord, increase our faith. Forgiveness is not easy work. But with Jesus' help, we can release the emotions surrounding the sin committed against us. Do you understand what that means? What it means is that ultimately, forgiveness benefits you, not the person you're forgiving. They are still responsible. They are still guilty. They will still suffer the consequence of their sin against you. But you don't have to live suffering the impact of the negative emotions surrounding that sin. Forgive them. Please like, follow, and subscribe on whatever platform you use to listen to this devotional. If you have questions for us, send them to us at questions@becomehope.com. Tomorrow, we'll hear Jesus say to one of the criminals crucified by him, be saved.